Hi, good day, good morning, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. My name is Yvonne Mackett. I'm from Perth, or I live in Perth, Australia, and I have done for 30 years. And I'm here with my lovely friend, Narelle Walk-On. Narelle is from Mackay in Queensland, and we are on Passive Aussie Girls and a Kiwi guy. So if you come across this on YouTube, please like, subscribe. We'd love that. And come and like our Facebook page, our like page, which is on facebook.com/nandy.life. And yeah, we'd love to see you all liking our page and enjoy our YouTube. So we'd love to have you all there. Now today, we would love to introduce a special friend of mine and an ONPASSIVE founder to the YouTube channel and show today. His name is Ian Rankin. Welcome, Ian. It's so lovely to have you here as our special guest. And I'd like you to just come in and just talk about who you are and a little bit about yourself. So thank you.
Oh, thanks, Yvonne and Narelle. It's lovely to be here. Yes, Yvonne and I have become great friends very quickly a couple of years ago. And it was Yvonne that introduced me to GoFounders / OnPassive. I was renting a house in Rockingham and I needed someone to help with the rent. So I Airbnb'd it and met some lovely people, and Yvonne being one of them. So yeah, and we connected and introduced each other to different things, and OnPassive was one of those that Yvonne introduced me to. Yeah. But I've since moved back up to Fremantle, which is my stomping ground. And yeah, I currently live in a yoga center, which is ultimately an ashram, and living the life of my journey, which is fantastic. And I really took to the idea of OnPassive because I'd been involved in multi-level marketing, those types of things. I've been looking at all of those things, always trying to get out of the trade, working in the mining and oil and gas industry, always looking for a way out. Tried many things, and I found that when I looked at GoFounders, I like the idea of the whole sharing side of it, how it's going to help you and your family and your friends and anybody who needs help, actually, for such a small starting fee. I found it quite incredible. And the more I looked into it, the more I really liked it. And once I started looking at the videos with Ash Mufare, you cannot help but like Ash Mufare. I think everybody loves him. He's a very inspiring man. And we've seen a few people come and go, I think, in the early days, which was quite interesting. But the stable part of it now, and the people like Yvonne, and I'm sure Narelle, who I've only just met on video, and some of the other people, Michael Wilson and Marta Digamo, these guys, they've been pushing this hard, and they tell good stories, and they make it all worthwhile to listen to. So yeah, I'm quite excited about all of it.
Excellent. And what do you find, you found OnPassive, and, you had a reason, obviously, for joining. Is there something that you want personally, like a goal or something where you felt that OnPassive was going to help you more? MLMs we know about them. We know the platform's a little bit old hat. They're old technology. You have to keep paying that subscribing every month. Every month you've either buying product or you've got to bring people in, recruit and sell. But, was there something about the platform of OnPassive that you found to be quite outstanding? And how will that fit into the goals that you have in your life?
Yeah, that's very well put, Narelle. You hit the nail on the head there about MLM and all of those platforms where you just got to keep giving and giving and giving. And ultimately, for the most part, I think 97 or 98% of people in MLM do not get any return. And I found it all arduous. And a lot of it was, they never tell you the truth, and you can lose it at any time. But when I saw on Passive and the way not so much the payment matrix. Obviously, it's important, but I like the way it was shared and the way they explained it. And I like the fact that everybody owns ONPASSIVE. It's not owned by the people at the top. It's shared evenly and fairly according to, obviously, there's how much you get involved will pay you bigger dividends or quicker dividends. I love that part of it. But ultimately, for me, my goal is to, it'll give me ultimately more money for me to go and spread the word and the love that I think the world needs. And I can help a lot of people if I've got spare dollars in my pocket.
That's beautiful, Ian. Beautiful. That's exactly what we're looking for, visionaries and people to help and pay it forward. And I know that
Yeah.
you have done a lot of volunteering in your life, or lately when I first met you. And so one of the platforms is Oh Bless. Is that one of the ones that you are really wanting to share?
Yeah, I like that. I love the idea of that. It's I don't fully understand those yet, but I'm sure once we get going on those, they will reveal themselves, and life will be great when we start to use those platforms. You know, but if you have the freedom, well, freedoms is a word that's not being used appropriately at the moment for various reasons. But we're all subject to certain restrictions at the moment. But I'm sure at some point in time, all those restrictions will be lifted. And if you have the freedom to travel, and when I say freedom to travel, I mean the financial support to go and travel to offer your services in other countries, in other parts of the world, or even the country. If you have that freedom of travel where you don't have to worry about where you're going to get your flight or your hotel from, then you can do so much good in this world. And there's so much to share and so much to give.
Yeah. One of the, you know, with the OBLESS platform, and I think it's the most outstanding platform within ONPASSIVE as far as, you know, bringing that balance back to humanity, bringing the correction back from the corruption. You know, there are really two big things that stand out for Ashma Farah. You know, one of the things I just wanted to share with our viewers also was that when we give or when we fundraise through the platform of OBLESS, the biggest thing is that ONPASSIVE gives 100% of the monies raised. Now, I think that's the biggest part of it, because we know that $114 billion in revenue is going to come off the top. That's what they're going to make these other companies where they're fundraising. Now, I think that absolutely stinks. I think it's terrible to take away from those less fortunate than ourselves. I think that it's almost criminal that they can make that. You could understand a small admin fee, but with OBLESS, the whole percent, the 100% is going to those communities, causes, ideas, you know, so that's amazing, you know, to actually get 100% when people are donating, and people do, because, you know, when you're blessed, you want to bless others. Okay, so when people are wanting to give, they want to know that their money, whether it be $100, you know, $5 or whatever, is going exactly to where it was wanted or needed. So thank you for sharing your side of that and the ability of being able to travel soon and have that freedom so that we can help so many others. So yeah, is there anything else you'd like to add today about ONPASSIVE or the journey that you're on, so that other viewers might be able to sort of take from what you're saying, and, you know, those who might be sitting on the fence, those who might be considering ONPASSIVE, you know, is there something that you might like to share with them today?
Yeah, look, I've introduced quite a few people to this. I've had a few people join, those that have a bit of a vision. You know, we are ultimately, as a society, governed by the herd, and it's people like Ashma Farah and us as founders that choose to remove ourselves from the status quo and the herd, and have that vision. I think it's a wonderful thing. I think for the small fee that it costs you to join and the ultimate rewards that you get is phenomenal. And I encourage people, anybody that has a spare $97 to join this platform, because that is barely a night out. That sort of money, it's nothing for most people in the world. And if somebody really can't afford it, I'll pay for them.
Yeah,
I've paid for a few people, actually. because I feel like they deserve it, and I feel like they some people need a break and some people just need encouragement. And if it costs me $97 to show someone a better way of life, ultimately, then that's money very, very well spent as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and that's very generous and honourable of you, Ian. I too have sponsored both a gentleman in Uganda who looks after 8 orphans. They don't have anything. There's 9 of them sleep on 3 mattresses on the ground, and I've sponsored a position for them, and the whole position. I don't want to be gifting. I think that a lot of these third world countries, and I don't like saying it like that because they didn't ask to be like that, but you know, in those societies they struggle, you know, but they really know what they want and need in their community. You know, if they've been taught all their lives to ask for handouts because that's the only way that they can feed the children. But I don't want it to be like that for my sponsor. I gave him the whole thing. It's in his email so that he can actually decide. And I trust him. And I do believe that he was sent to me because I have no idea on how actually we met. But all of a sudden he was there and he was showing me, and I've spoken to him, and he's a 27-year-old man looking after 8 orphans. There's a lot of that out there, you know, that the donations is their basic way of surviving, but I want them to be able to make those choices. So I think that's very honorable. If people want to or know of somebody in that same sort of situation, then I'm sure that you would be happy to speak with them. So
Absolutely.
Appreciate that. Yvonne, Yvonne, do you have any questions for
well, if there is anybody that knows Ian or comes across this, please get back to Ian and just get into on passive with us, because we are closing off founding positions in the very close future. We are getting very, very close, and we are launching to the world, and you will not be able to join and become part of a worldwide, we're in 212 countries, and we're all putting our arms together to help humanity. So, you know, help yourself, just get in, and you can then help others, because there will be enough there to share.
And thank you, Yvonne. And if you would like to get in contact with Yvonne or myself, and we can put you in contact with Ian.
Yes.
If you can't get in contact with Ian himself personally, we can pass on that information for you so we can keep it quite private. We do appreciate you today, Ian. You've spent some lovely time talking. I think there's something deep inside of you that you might need to say. So I'm asking you just for that last bit of, you know, something that will encourage, you know, others to not only join on passive, but sort of make a change in their lives. What something that's going to be supportive and a strength out there for those who are going through tough times right now. So if you could just share something from your heart with us, thanks.
Yeah, sure. My heart gets bigger as I get older, which is a blessing in its own right. I think, you know, time's tough, and life wasn't meant to be easy. I think the term is used widely across the globe, and it can be tough, but ultimately, you know, whatever life throws at us, you know, it doesn't matter what life throws at you. It's whatever your reaction is to that, and whatever your next response is to whatever life throws determines how life will turn out. You know, you have to make that decision. You have to react the best way you can, because your reaction determines the next move. And you know, if you can see life that way and not blame everything, and try not to feel bad about all the tough things in life at the moment, it's a tough time. And if you just have the will and the heart to know that if you can be strong in a tough world, then you will come through it with shining colours. And a platform like ONPASSIVE is going to allow everybody who joins to be comfortable and feel safe and be able to share and give themselves, which is what most people really want to do, I think, in their hearts.
Yeah, I think you're right there. And I think you're right again, you know, people have choices. We are living in a world right now which is making us step up, step out, you know, or retreat. Now, all of those, there's nothing wrong with any of those. I think what we find that We find that supportive persons, and I think ONPASSIVE has a movement which is really bringing about, you know, those visionaries. Not everybody will join as a founder in ONPASSIVE because they don't see the vision. But once you hear Ash Mafara speak and you hear his heart, you can absolutely see that he wants to help those 97% who could never make money online. You know, it had to be more evenly spread, you know, not just this 3% sitting up in their castles with gold dripping off of them and, you know, 20 cars and a house with 28 bedrooms. I always said, if you've got 3 or 4 kids, why do you need 28 bedrooms? It's a show off type society. You know, you've got to keep up with the Joneses. You've got to have what they've got to have. But deep down, those who have a heart, those visionaries who see that this is going to change the world and bring that balance back are what we're looking for today. You know, so I appreciate your time. It really is an amazing time to be catching up with those we've never met before. I've never met Ian. Thank you, Yvonne, for introducing us. I think that we will end the meeting now, unless there is something that you would like to say, Yvonne.
No, just thank you very much, Ian. It was a pleasure to have you on here. And
Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. And just to remind you all, if you're watching this, ONPASSIVE Aussie Girls and a Kiwi Guy is our Facebook like page. Pop over there. We put information up. We would love to interview any of you who are coming on as new founders to get to know each other. Australia is such a big country that we can't have just coffee meetups around the corner. You know, both Yvonne and Ian live on the other side of Australia, about, say, 6,000 kilometres away, a long airfare and a cost as well. You know, I live in Mackay, Queensland, North Queensland. We have about 190,000 population, and myself and my sister are the only 2 founders here. So it is difficult to always catch up, but this is the way of doing it, being able to bring us together to learn about who we are, to learn about what our passion and our goals are within ONPASSIVE. So thanks again, Ian. I do appreciate your time, and Yvonne, love to you. And I will just finish the recording now.